Welcome back, everybody. The hotspot continues on a Thursday, and I am in the presence of friends today here in the KOM News Zoom room from IHP, literally right across the street from me. She probably can hear me like talking because she's so close to me. My dear friend, Dr. Arania Adelson. Doc, half a day. Good to see you.
Half a day. Great to see you this morning.
All right, and of course, everybody knows you. You are a sports physician. You always advocate and encourage people to be in the best shape of their lives. And we as athletes, I say we, but I haven't played sports in like so many years now. I just cover it, but athletes are finely tuned machines, and of course, under your tutelage and guidance, we are helping the other guest in the KOM News Zoom room, the one and only Doug Palmer, the athletic director up there at UOG, have this wonderful synergy of making sure that the 8 varsity programs that UOG proudly boasts, athletes are ready to go. So thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Doug, I love talking about partnerships, especially when it comes to my alma mater, and especially when it comes to, a department that when I was a young Triton myself, I spent tons of time on. So maybe contextualize it a little bit and tell us how UOG is working with the fine folks over at IHP.
Well, we've been looking for a group to help us, especially with our athletic physicals, but also hopefully when we get student athletes injured or hurt, knock on wood, we've been pretty lucky over the past 6 years not to have too many major or any major injuries. But if we do, then we really need a sports specialist, which we get from the doctor here. So we're really looking forward to better service for our student athletes, and we just really felt like that this was going to be a great partnership for us and for them, that we could provide some more advertising or more bang for their buck of working with us to get their name out there, and we're just very happy to be associated with such a fine group.
Well, Doug, you're speaking my love language twice, because not only was I a student athlete when I was at UOG, I was also a marketing major. So when it comes to advertising, I mean, you had me at hello. Okay, so Dr. Adelson, if we can, your expertise again is in sports medicine, and when dealing with collegiate athletes, you want to make sure that, like Doug said, we provide proper training for them, so hopefully they won't get hurt. But the body, obviously, it's naturally going to get fatigued. It's going to break down at times and everything. So what is your whole role in making sure that these Triton athletes stay in tip-top competitive shape?
At this point, IHP and myself are working on getting all the pre-participation physical exams done so that all the students are ready for their sporting year. And then also during our visits, I've been providing a little bit of anticipatory guidance based upon the past medical history that the student athletes have reported in their athletic careers. So I'm really excited about this partnership. And in exchange for some advertising and promotion, we get to meet the UOG athletes and get them ready for their athletic year.
Now, what types of let's say sports medicine concerns tend to bubble up as most common, like here on Guam, given our climate, given the fact that we've got 10 months of sunshine a year, and just the fact that like as Guam athletes, we tend to be really, really active. What do you most commonly see as as concerns, or things that you can offer that guidance on?
Well, of course, heat-related illness is always a concern in our hot climate, although I haven't had many reports of that amongst the Tritons. So I would say, some of the common injuries are overuse injuries, especially for single sport athletes. Also, there's been some cases of stress fractures. So that comes from, managing your nutrition and training volume during your sporting year.
Okay, and Doug, and like I said, this is available in the services that Dr. Adelson and her team are providing, with the physicals. This is for all 8 varsity sports, right? So which exactly do those cover?
Men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, women's rugby, baseball, and women's beach volleyball and regular volleyball. So it's a wide assortment of sports. And what we learned from women's rugby last year, we played our first day of matches and we had a concussion. Our second day of matches, we had a separated shoulder. So in some of our other sports, of course, we have some other injuries just depending on what the sport kind of entails. But, you know, we do play some physical sports, and a lot of times these student athletes don't necessarily have a sports expert. They may have their regular physician, but somebody who's not really up to speed as far as a separated shoulder in athletics goes, or, you know, some sort of knee structure tear or sprain. So we would really think we provide, if this partnership will provide more expert experience on those type of injuries, and of course the healing process and the physical part of getting back to playing your sport after an injury.
So it really is a true ecosystem of, you know, the athletic department taking care of, you know, these student athletes and just saying, okay, well, you know, if you're 100% good to go, you know, get out on the court, get out on the field and everything like that. If you're hurt, you know, go ride the bench and everything. You are actually caring for these, you know, these student athletes all the way from, you know, from beginning to end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually the number one area that we need to improve on. That's been when I first got here. There's very few athletic trainers on the island. There's very little physical therapy for athletics on the island. So this is one of the biggest needs that we've had, and this is the first time that we really found a group that wants to work with us and move forward, which will help us. And we're going to probably have close to 100 student athletes, but it'll be one of those things that we now can tell folks, yes, we do have an expert medical sports medicine type person that you can go to. So we think that's going to help our overall department and make parents feel better, make student athletes feel better that they have an expert to go to help solve any injuries that we do have.
Well, because I know any true collegiate athlete that, like, if they should, you know, twist an ankle or, you know, like you said, you know, like a sprain a finger, the one thing they always think, then the first thing that goes to their mind is, oh my God, what is happening to my scholarship?
Yeah.
So yeah, you were keeping them in the best possible, because these student athletes, they are an investment for the university as well.
Yes, they are, and we consider ourselves the best advertisement for the university. Since I always get told that we're always in the paper, because I put out more stuff than anybody else on the university side. So and we like to show off our top folks, but if they're hurt and injured, then we can't always show off our top folks. But this will keep our athletes in better condition as we go forward.
Well, Doug, you truly picked the right person for the right job. And because, Doctor, if I may, I know even though this is a new partnership between your two respective organizations, this is not your first rodeo in actually caring for the Guam athlete, because you actually were part of the physicians team that actually took care of Team Guam relative to the Olympics, right?
Correct. I've been working with Guam National Olympic Committee since 2015, and I've had the benefit to travel with them internationally and within the Oceania area for our inter-island competitions. And I did have the honor to travel to Tokyo in 2021 for the Olympics, and that was an amazing, phenomenal experience. Not only as the COVID liaison officer, but also as working with one of the team physicians. So it was an excellent experience for me.
I am so envious right now. I know people that have been to the Olympics. That's totally cool, both on, you know, the administrative side and the competition side, and now also, you know, on the physician side. So maybe if you could, Doctor, maybe just give us a little bit of idea of, you know, obviously these are college athletes, so I would think they tend to skew a little bit more towards, you know, the 18 to maybe 24 year range. So what are some of the questions that they have? Because I know when I was that age, it's like, okay, well, you know, like I'm made of steel, and, you know, like I can go out and, you know, play, and I don't have to have sufficient rest, and plus I got all my studies to do. But, you know, what do you see so far with that particular age demographic?
I would say so far with these Triton physicals, the primary question is about nutrition and also managing their diet and their weight. You know, every sport tends to have an athletic build, and the Tritons do tend to to gravitate in that way. But managing their weight and managing their nutrition is really important. They need to take enough carbohydrates so that they have enough energy to perform, but also enough dietary protein to maintain their strength. And also, avoid meal skipping. When you're in college and you're going to school and you have sports and you may have outside commitments like family, it's really easy to just keep going through the day and run on fumes, but then there's not enough energy to perform well in sports. So this is some of the anticipatory guidance that I've been providing in working with the Tritons.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Olympics, I know, gosh, maybe about 8 years ago, I remember when everybody learned of like the Michael Phelps diet. Everyone was like, okay, if I'm an athlete, if I play chess, I got to adopt the Michael Phelps diet, like eating like, 6 chocolate chip pancakes a day. And it's like, no, okay, that's a completely different caliber like of athlete right there. So I guess a diet is very much appreciated, because especially here on Guam, where so many of us grow up, eating, meat and rice 3 times a day. It's, it is an adjustment, because again, your body is the tool that you're using to compete.
Yes, it's important for us to all eat 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, whether we are a high performing athlete or not, but also managing your carbohydrate intake appropriate to your energy expenditure and your protein according to whatever your body's muscle needs are. So yes, managing the diet is very important. And of course, professional athletes or stars, they will advertise or promote a diet or a supplement that that takes off. But every athlete has their own individual nutritional needs, and that's really important to pay attention to, especially relative to their individual sport.
How about sleep, though? Because I know a lot of people don't really take into consideration, especially athletes, how important it is to get sufficient rest. And it's, again, managing possibly like a full load of classes and, maybe procrastinating around like midterm time and everything like that. How much guidance do you give them in terms of, getting sufficient sleep?
I haven't gotten too many questions on rest, but ideally we need 8 hours per day. And young people, sometimes they need even more rest because their bodies are changing. And high level athletes may need more rest because rest is always important part of the training program, so they have enough time for recovery. But yes, 8 hours per day is the current recommendation. It's hard when you're juggling multiple things like school and outside commitments, but we all do the best we can.
All right. And Doug, I know, your own success with running collegiate programs is, like very well noted. And, you have said right when you came to the island and took over the job that, you want to turn UOG into a national championship caliber program as you have before with other schools. So talk about like also maybe kind of like indirectly having also the competitive mindset and making sure that, you've got a clear head and you can maintain that focus as well. Because that's something that I know you've been preaching since day one.
Oh yeah, and it can be difficult, especially like our basketball teams haven't been able to practice in the field house. We had the elections that basically locked out the field house for 4 days. We now got Miss Saigon's show going to start tomorrow night, but they've been in here since Sunday, building their stage and everything. So our men's women's basketball team hasn't been able to practice.
There's room for like the performing arts and sports at the same time, I would think.
Yeah, but because they can't get into here, they're going to the national gym at 4 a.m. So we're talking about sleep. They're not getting as much sleep because most of these kids don't really realize how much sleep they do need. And all of a sudden they're trying to do their regular studies and their regular schedules, but now they got to get up 2 to 3 hours early to go out to the national gym at 4 a.m. and practice basketball. So I'm sure that's taking it out. I had to get up this morning and do a 4 a.m. interview with an Eastern Standard Time group as well. So I'm not feeling very energetic right now. After that, so you have to be able to adjust to things. And here, especially with the field house and all the things that we do here, our basketball teams have to work their way around, other areas to find practice space and times, because for our department to survive, we've got to keep running different events here. But yeah, we're trying to. Well, again, this is one of the more important things to do if we want to keep that high caliber of an athletic program going is to have good medical, sports medical type help for our student athletes. So this is one of the mover and shaker type items that we really have to do for our program to grow. We just doubled our size of our sports, but to try to stay competitive, we got to keep. We don't have a whole lot of student athletes here. I mean, we're lucky to get 4 or 5 more than the minimum that we need. So we got to keep those folks healthy. The nutrition will be great. Getting rest would be great. So like I said, we need somebody that students will listen to. They may not listen to Doug Palmer because I don't look like a big athlete. I'm a big guy, but I'm not a great athlete. So they're not going to listen to me about nutrition. No, Coach Palmer, you're 50 pounds overweight. So, you have to find somebody that, that they will listen to for those type topics. And now we have a perfect person for them to listen to.
Absolutely. So, real quick, Doug, before I wrap up with the good doctor, I know one of the things that you also do is there's a wonderful communications network that you have throughout the athletic department. But if for some reason, if any UOG athlete doesn't get the message across, what would you like them to know, like right now, about the support services through IHP that are now available to them?
Well, that they got somewhere to go that they can get taken care of medically. And I'm pretty sure even if it wasn't a sports issue, but it was some other medical issue they wanted to talk to, that they now have a group that they can talk to. I mean, most of them do have their own personal physicians and things, but some of them don't necessarily feel comfortable talking to, their own personal physician because that physician's probably taking care of mom and dad and they're scared it's going to slip out. So they would like to find somebody else, to talk to about other medical things if it's not just sports. So I think that's one of the things that this relationship will bring to it is an overall sense of health, and the clinic does have behavioral type things as well. So those are things that they may can tap into there as well. So we feel like we got a fully serviced health clinic in the IHP, and we hopefully we can keep this thing going for quite a while.
Absolutely. And I think if you've got someone like Dr. Arenia Adelson, in her very capable hands and everything, all of the student athletes over at Triton, you are going to be well taken care of. So, Doctor, I'd like to wrap with you, as I said, and maybe just speak directly to the Triton athletes right now and just let them know when you're available, perhaps how they can get in touch with you, and what types of services that you're willing to provide to them.
So at this point, we are providing all of their pre-participation physical exams, their sports physical exams, getting them ready for their sporting academic season. And they've been in contact with our IHP WhatsApp chat line, which is 671-480-3833. And that's the best way to schedule an appointment. Also, our office hours are from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 9 to 5 on Saturday. We're closed on Sunday. We're happy to accept the Tritons as walk-ins. Also, other athletic injuries are welcome to come as walk-ins or same-day appointments if need be, or schedule an appointment over the chat line.
All right. And good as advertised, ladies and gentlemen. So Doug Palmer over at the University of Guam, the one and only, the athletic director, and Dr. Arenia Adelson, a sports physician, and many, many other things. And it really, really part of the key fabric of what makes being a athlete on Guam so good, because now there is this wonderful support system. So we are going to take care of you so that you can be at your very best. So Doug and Doctor, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We will be right back with more show right after this. Please stay tuned.